Hey guys, welcome back to Starcastic Remarks. Thank you all for joining us live here this evening. All three of us are finally here for the first time in a while. It's awesome. Thank you to our sponsors, DraftKings and Game Time. Use that promo code THP, and the next time you are there using their services, it helps us grow a little bit, and we get a little bit of chump change for it. And you also get some discounts and goodies and stuff like that when you use that promo code. So anyways, guys, first off, Happy New Year to the both of you and to all of our listeners. This is the AGR after the game against the Sabres. This was not a trap game. Stars take care of business, 4-2. And there's lots of thoughts that I have in this game here today. I'm not yelling and screaming, so that's a good thing, first off. But I want to let you guys have the first words. What's your thoughts on this game?
Lots of thoughts, for sure, 100%. But yeah, the scoring is still an issue. I mean, that was shown tonight, but they weren't playing a great goaltender. I mean, Joe Baker said in the comment right here, 4 isn't high, but it is against how Luukkonen was playing tonight, and I think that's a pretty true statement. Luukkonen played outstanding the way he has for the past couple of games to keep the Sabres playing as good as they have been recently. And the Stars broke him, and they broke him 3 times and found a way to get the goals that they needed to win. And unfortunately, with how the Stars are playing right now, that's going to have to be enough. The goaltender's got to keep us in there, keep it perfect, and we got to score just enough goals to win. And that's what we're doing.
Yeah, I mean, 3 has been enough all season long, is what it is. I mean, the Stars have been outstanding defensively. If they make it to 3, they've only lost like a handful of games. So 3 is a perfect number for the Stars. That's what I was searching for all night long.
And we should also mention that James is being a trooper today too. He's not feeling all that great.
That's
yet he's
the
here.
reason why I'm here as well. If I was not sick, I would be at work. So.
Well, hey, I mean, you get to watch the game and you get to hang out with us at least a little bit. So, there's tons of things we could talk about here tonight. But the first thing I got to give credit to UPL tonight. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen was probably the single reason why the Stars didn't have a lead sooner, and it seems like that's been happening a lot in the American Airlines Center. It didn't matter who goes in, whether it's Gustafsson or insert name of goalie here, Bennington. They just seem to have a really good game against the Stars at the American Airlines Center. So the Stars overcome that here today. So that's a very good news. So we didn't get goalied. But what did you see from UPL tonight? And did he keep the Sabres in the game like I'm thinking?
Yeah, I think he absolutely did, especially in that first period. The Stars should have dominated them, but he really kept them there, and he's the reason the Stars didn't have a lead going into that first intermission for sure.
I mean, he's the reason why the Sabres were on their streak in the first place. I think over the 3 games, he had like a 939 or something through those 3 games, which is just ridiculous.
Nuts.
He has been very good for the Sabres. And, they came off their 13-game winless skid with 3 wins, and they lose tonight. So that's unfortunate for them. But, honestly, this was a feel-good win for the Stars. Again, it's another good way to kind of end off on a good note. They did that in the game before Christmas break. They do it here at the end of 2024. There's lots of players that were very good tonight, but I think the one we need to highlight the most are just the top players for the Dallas Stars. It's Rope Hintz and Jason Robertson. We've been asking for them to take care of it, and they've not been consistent this year. But tonight, they do take care of it. I think Robertson gets 3 points. Hintz probably gets 2, although he could have had a hat trick.
He gets an honorary 2 points, but he only gets 1 point.
That's nuts. He should have had 3 goals tonight. That's it? Yeah. Nothing out of that?
No, sorry, agree.
Okay. All right. Moving on. I want to talk about Nils Lundkvist as well, because I will sing his name to the rooftops for for weeks now, for months now. He has been just fantastic. He makes a huge defensive play in the Stars zone to, I think it was at that point, it was 1-1. I can't remember exactly, but regardless, it was a huge play at the right time. He was in the right spot, and he just continues to play really well defensively. The only knock I have on him is we just need to see more of his offensive skill.
Yeah, he played the 2-on-1 perfectly. I mean, he took the man away, let the Smith face the player 1-on-1 essentially, and then cleaned up the rebound as well. I mean, it's textbook from him there.
Yeah, and the offensive chances are there too. I mean, you saw a couple of times tonight where he had good looks on the offensive side. There was one specifically where he got the puck after, like, I think it was after a rush chance. He got it at the point and he just kind of missed the net a little bit. They're there. He's getting the opportunities. He's just not really hitting on them right now. So he seems super confident on the defensive side of the puck, which is the number one thing. If you had to pick one, that's the one you'd pick. But I think he's got to get one to go in at some point on the offensive side to get that confidence going. But
Oh, we lost Chris there.
Chris.
That's weird. He does need to be he does need to continue that solidarity on the defensive side, but he's been really good, and I think it also helps that when he plays with Esa Lindell as well. I mean, anybody you could play with Esa Lindell and you would feel a lot better about your defensive game. Yeah. But maybe playing with Esa Lindell, we can start to see him take a little bit more of those chances up ice. And we've talked about me and Joey did on the last episode about maybe we can see Nils maybe taking that second power play unit time and maybe him starting to deserve some of those minutes a little bit more, because he's definitely proved his worth this year, especially.
Yeah, I guess it's my internet's holiday as well. Sorry about that. But what I was saying is if you told us before the beginning of the season that we would be talking about a defenseman that's coming in and out of the lineup, we'd be saying it'd be Lundqvist, not Dumba. So the fact that he's solidly cemented himself into the lineup and it's only the end of December, that's fantastic. He's done his job. He's done exactly what we needed him to do to start the season. Perfect start for Lundqvist.
All right, so you mentioned... Oh, go ahead, James. I'm sorry.
Well, now with Lundqvist, we're starting to get into the territory where he would start to drop off. So we're getting to the point where he needs to keep sustaining what he's doing. And it looks like he's going to, honestly. But we're getting to the point where we need to keep seeing it.
And Chris just brought it up, so I want to jump a little bit to this. But so Dumba comes back in the lineup. I didn't see anything necessarily really bad from him, so that's kind of a good thing. It means he was mostly invisible to me, which is kind of what you want from him right now. And he's wearing a full bubble. But the main thing that a lot of people were frustrated with was Bischel does get sent back down to the AHL, which absolutely sucks. He's been playing really well. I mean, was this the right move? Because there's a logjam on defense for the Stars with Dumba coming back into the lineup. It just makes sense. It's unfortunate that it's Bischel, but at the same time, we do need Dumba to play. if we are going to get far in the playoffs, Dumba has to be a lot better than he was at the very beginning of the season. And it sucks that he's been hurt a couple of times, and he was playing better before he got injured the second time. It is just unfortunate for Bischel that he's the casualty of this.
Right. Dumba's still a $3.75 million player for the Stars per year. That's what he is. He's going to get the benefit of the doubt every single time. And that's what's happening right now, I think. I think Bischel's obviously played better than Dumba has so far this season, but Dumba's got 3 years on his contract and is getting paid a lot of money to be better. So he's going to get a lot of chances to be better. If we're playing the playoffs tonight and it started tonight, I think Bischel's in there. I don't think Dumba's starting tonight. But our defense has been the best in the league. Our goals against I think we're still leading. So it's been fantastic. So you have a little bit of room to play around with it. So why not give Dumba the shot to get back in there and fight for his spot back? I would still rather see Bischel in there by the end of the season. I think he's going to be in the lineup by the end of the season. But maybe Dumba is too. So I think it's important to let Dumba try and earn a spot back. So I'm fine with it. I'd rather see Bischel, but again, it's not playoffs right now. It's regular season.
The other part of it that needs to be mentioned is that you have both Sagan and Marchment out, and that's a lot of size and physicality from your game that is just gone now. And the people replacing them, they're small, super skilled players, but they're smaller players, and you need someone to be able to have a physical presence on the ice.
Well, I mean, there's Stankoven. He's 5'7". Maverick Bork, I believe, is 5'11". If he maybe 6 foot. Blackwell is under 6 foot. I know that for sure. There's one more I'm thinking off the top of my head.
Ritzkovian's pretty small.
Yeah, Ritzkovian's pretty small. And then
Ritzkovian's 5'10".
Yeah, not 5'10", and then Nils is also 5'11". So we've lost a lot of size with both. Even Sagan. People forget Sagan's a big guy too. He's not like enormous, but he's still 6'2", 6'3", and can kind of throw the weight around a little bit. So
and that was something kind of funny about tonight's game is that I always forget how big the Sabres team is. Like all their players are built to play in the playoffs, and they just can never make it there.
Yep. Especially Tage Thompson. You look at Tage Thompson, you're like, wait, he's that big? And he scores how many points?
6,
Why
7.
is he not a superstar?
Well, there was 2 years ago. He was on. I think he got like 50 goals.
Yeah.
Last year wasn't so great, but 2 years ago he was talked about as one of the best players in the NHL. So, speaking of forwards, I want to talk about the Dallas forwards here tonight. I really am gelling with the forward lines. I mean, all the forward lines tonight looked great. They really did. I love the rookie line with Back, Bork, and Stankoven on it. They were pushing, especially early in the first period. Duchesne with Ben and Johnston. That was a fantastic line tonight. Obviously, the one player I think we need to highlight more than anybody was Jamie Benn. He was nuts
flying
tonight. Like that, I think he had 6 shot attempts by the 16-minute mark of the third period, which is very unlike Jamie Benn. So he's being basically asked to play a top 6 role, and he's like, okay. And then he jumps in there for Wyatt Johnston when Wyatt Johnston sort of kind of messes with the goalie a little bit. That was awesome to see. And he needs to show more of that. I think that's something from Jamie Benn's game that this team really needs right now, especially with the players that are out.
Yeah, I mean, he had 7 shots on goal to end the night, and
that's nuts.
He could have scored 4 goals. Honestly, like he had the crossbar hit as well. That doesn't even count as a shot. Honestly, I thought it was funny that he came to Johnston's defense, because I feel like that's more him being mad that he missed another one rather than actually coming to the defense of Johnston. But he was playing out of his mind tonight. It was a miracle he didn't score a goal.
Yeah, y'all said it all. He was great. Love my captain.
And then we talked about the other lines too. Like even Blackwell's line was very good. Like all the lines with all the people that are out really seemed to kind of gel, which is very good considering all of the people that the Stars are missing right now. They're missing a lot of goals out of their lineup with both Sagan and Marchment being out. So I know people are probably going to ask me too. I don't know any more about Mason Marchment. I've been telling people this as well, that I don't think it's just a week-to-week thing. I really think this is, if it's a week-to-week thing, we're talking like 6 or 7 weeks, would be my guess.
Yeah,
if it's before that, great. So that would be awesome. But I just don't see it, considering how much blood we saw on the ice and just the way that the Stars are talking about it right now.
Yeah, well, I'm guessing he broke his face. So he's going to have to be out until his face fixes. So I think he'll be back before Sagan is. So it's not going to be like he's out until playoffs thing. I think he'll have a few, maybe a month, hopefully before playoffs. But yeah, he's out for a while. I would guess.
One thing I do want to talk about as well is at the end of the first period, it was the only power play of the game for either team. The Stars had a power play. They did not score on it. Of course they didn't, but it looked different. It did. I know it's a moral victory, and we'll take moral victories when we win the game. So I'm happy with a moral victory if we have the 2 points with it.
It's so dumb.
What did y'all see on that?
Because that was probably their best power play of the whole year, and they didn't score on it. So who cares?
Yeah.
I mean, they pass the puck a lot. They're doing a good job passing the puck. That's been great on their power play the past month or so. But like beyond passing the puck, what else is happening? I mean, I want our shooters to find shots. I want our shooters to shoot from the half wall when they have a chance. Like I know that it's just you're gripping the stick tight whenever you're on a power play skid like they're on right now. But like the best players need to be looking for their avenues to score instead of trying to make the perfect play. So when Robo gets the puck, he's got to think, I'm going to score, and not what are we supposed to do on the power play right now? And that's a lot easier said than done when you're a great team with a terrible power play.
I thought tonight, especially at the beginning of the third period, but when I went back and looked at it, I did notice more that they were looking for some high tips and they were trying to create more chaos in front. Is that just me, or did y'all see that as well?
I don't know. I think I feel like they've tried everything except shooting, so I'm not gonna give them that.
Well, that was just something that I wrote down in my notes here tonight, was that especially at the beginning of the third period, the first 5 minutes or so, they were looking for some high tips. And literally as I typed that, then a lucky goal for Malenstein happens to bounce off of him. I was
Yeah,
so mad at that
pretty
point.
nuts.
I was the
Back to the power play though, and what you said earlier. I think we do give Lundqvist a chance now. I mean, like, what's the worst thing that can happen? Our power play goes 0 for 15 over 4 games. Like, like why
That's
not
right.
give him a shot?
It was worse than that, which is terrible.
Shh, James, be quiet. No, we don't need that. It's bad energy.
1 for 21, 1 for 22, something like that.
Hey, we won the game tonight.
Yes, but there is some work to do. It makes us feel a little bit better to ending 2024 with the fact that the Stars get the win, though.
Another good thing, I'm stealing this a little bit from the Podman Rush that I listened to earlier today. If you had to pick one thing to be bad, would you rather have your 5-on-5 play be bad or your power play be bad? I'd rather my power play be bad. You can fix the power play.
And it shows tonight because you basically don't play, any kind of penalty killing or power play or anything. No special teams, and they win.
Right.
And they were even getting goalied. The Stars were getting goalied tonight, and they were still able to pull out the win.
Yep. And your power play can also be carried by just one player, and the Stars just so happen to have a large amount of cap space available to potentially go find a player. So that might be beneficial. We'll see.
I'll pull out the name that I texted y'all earlier yesterday, and I'll get y'all's thoughts on it, and then everyone else can react to it later here in a second. But Casey DeSmith, he gets the start here tonight. I thought he was okay. I don't think he was overtaxed, but he did make some very good saves, and when he needed to be big, he was big.
Yep, he made some big saves, especially earlier on in the game, just kind of like how Luukkonen did. So I thought he did everything you need to do for a backup goalie. Only held him to 2 goals. We take that every single time for your backup goalie.
Yeah, and like I've said, the Stars have held most teams to 2 goals this year. Score 3 goals and you win every game.
That's the formula.
Yeah, it's literally just the offense. You figure it I know everyone's been talking about that 4 is the new 3. Like if you get to 4, then you're bound to win the game. But for the Stars and the way they play and the goaltending that they get,
3
and
is the new 3.
Yes, I guess 3 is the new 4 or whatever. Yeah, whatever. But anyways, I thought he was really good tonight. You can't ask much more from a backup goaltender. So, okay, I do want to throw this out. Is there anything about the game, though, that I'm not mentioning that we should mention?
It was fast. That was probably one of the most fun games of hockey to watch, too.
It was a good game.
Yeah,
it was exciting.
That's exactly why you love watching hockey in general, is that game.
And it was back and forth for portions of it too. And both of these teams do like to score off the rush, and especially the Sabres. This is the way they just play an open style of game. That's the only way they can score goals. It's just off the rush. And maybe the Stars need to take a page out of that playbook of Lindy Ruff over there, at least to a certain extent.
I was about to say that's Lindy Ruff hockey, not necessarily Sabres hockey.
So let's see. I guess there is one player that I think we need to highlight once more. Wyatt Johnston. The tip that he did in front was absolutely ridiculous. Like that just came out of complete nowhere. Like it didn't seem like there was a high danger scoring chance there at all. And then he just kind of creates one himself. And I put up on Twitter, I was just like, looks like Wyatt Johnston is finally learning the art of tipping from his former landlord.
Well, and the shot pass from Harley's crazy too. I mean, they were on the same exact wavelength there. Who throws it to the front of the net from like he's on the red line almost, and it was just perfect.
Yep, telepathic.
And we need a little bit more of that from our forwards, especially. So, it was nice to get some defensive scoring here tonight too. I know Harley, Lindell gets the empty netter, but we haven't seen a lot of that either with our forwards kind of having issues scoring too. So, okay, I want to throw one question out there to y'all, and then y'all can debate it even further. We can circle around it a little bit, and we'll wrap it up with biggest winner, biggest loser, because I know we all got to get to whatever New Year's Eve party stuff or whatever. The one thing that a lot of people are talking about right now is how we're going to fix the power play, right? And there's a lot of things that are missing on this team, I feel like, for the Dallas Stars. And I think it's a forward, and I don't think we need any defensemen, because I think our defensemen have proven to us, even at the AHL level, that they're really good. Petrovic has come up. He's been really solid. Bichel has come up. He has been really solid as well and scored in his first 2 games. But when you look at what the Stars need, they need somebody who can score on the power play. They need somebody who can who has been a cup winner, in my opinion. I think that's something that's huge that we're missing from this lineup, because other than Tyler Seguin, I don't think anybody else on the Stars has won a Stanley Cup. And Tyler Seguin, I mean, it counts, but it doesn't really count because he was a rookie. He was 19. Okay.
Yeah, try telling him it doesn't count.
Yeah, it counts. It counts. But like, for this argument, it doesn't count. We need somebody who has been there, done that. And we need somebody, in my opinion, who's over the age of 30. Because right now, I didn't even think about this until someone mentioned it on our Discord. We had 4 rookies in the lineup tonight on the forward side.
Yep.
That's crazy.
5 in the last game.
5 in the last game. Yeah, that's true. So we need somebody who's over the age of 30, between 30 to 35. And I have a name for you. And we've talked about Evgeny Malkin. I think that Ryan O'Reilly would be a really good target for the Dallas Stars. And I know y'all kind of disagreed with me a little bit, but this guy is on a $4.5 million cap hit, so it's very reasonable. The only thing is that he's got 3 years on it, which with the cap going up, I don't think that's as big a deal. That's just my opinion. This is a guy who has won the Stanley Cup. He hasn't just won the Stanley Cup, but he was a Conn Smythe winner on top of that. And he is very well known for his ability to play on the power play. And he is a nasty guy. He's a very nasty guy up in front of the net. And we need a net front presence. So, yep. I mean, we've seen Hintz be the net front guy lately. And I know Marchment will come back and he'll be able to do that. But it wouldn't hurt to have another one. What do y'all think of that? Ryan O'Reilly as a Dallas Star?
I don't hate it. I mean, his play recently hasn't been fantastic. I mean, ever since he got that cup, it's been kind of a nosedive a little bit for him, but it's definitely something that could work. I want a guy like that. I like the idea. The idea of O'Reilly, I very much like. How he's been playing, not so much.
He had a really good season last year, and I think he had like 20-something goals, had like 60-ish points. And then this year has obviously not worked out, but who honestly hasn't worked out for the Nashville Predators this year? I mean, like nobody has. So, and that's a decent point. Okay. So I'll bring up Darren's point. O'Reilly didn't help the Leafs, and he's talking about when he got traded from St. Louis to Toronto, but he specifically said he really did not like playing in Toronto, or at least inferred it. I'm not as big of, I think he would come here, and I think he would be a really good fit. I really do. And I don't know what the cost would be. That's the only thing that scares me, is if Nashville tries to play hardball and they try to push for a Maverick Bork or a Stankoven and to try and get Riley on the lineup here in Dallas. I don't think that's worth it. But I mean, I think that can be something under the radar that no one's really talking about that could be a good addition to this team. That's just my opinion.
And another one that just popped up on the radar, Mika Zibanejad apparently willing to waive his no movement clause to go to a better team. And on a spiraling Rangers team, he's got 21 points in 36 games, and he's a power play guy just like O'Reilly is, kind of. And he's a bigger guy too, 6'2", 200 pounds. That'd be another piece of meat that can score if that's what we're looking for.
And it doesn't matter if you have a no trade clause on the New York Rangers. They'll waive you anyway.
I like the idea of Zibanejad as well, Chris, but I think he would cost more,
Yeah.
like just asset wise, and also his cap hit is higher. I think
Right.
it's like what, 8 million?
I think it's 8.5. And if you do get him, you're probably getting just him. And if you get a guy like O'Reilly, you're probably getting 2 players with the
You
cap
could go
space
out
that
and
you
get
have
another
as
guy.
well. So
Yeah.
with O'Reilly, you can potentially get O'Reilly, and like Darren said, here you could probably get Granlund and O'Reilly, which, boy, does that sound fantastic, adding O'Reilly and Granlund. So there's definitely pros and cons to both sides, and we'll see what Nil does. It's going to be super interesting off the ice for the Dallas Stars as they come up to the trade deadline. I hope they do it sooner. I think they kind of have to. I'm thinking more after Four Nations face off or whatever the heck we're calling it, because this team needs help on the power play and we need some time to let it gel. I think we've proved it the past few seasons. Like James said, the Rangers did 2 years ago. They built the super team and the super team blew up. So I don't think that's what you want to try and do.
I know this is stupid, but the one thing O'Reilly has over Zibanejad is he's got the cup experience. He's won the Stanley Cup, and he was the Conn Smythe winner. He's been there, done that.
Yeah.
Just saying. I know that seems stupid for me to say, but the last 2 years, the Stars have gotten to the Western Conference Final, and I think they need that one player, a Joe Nieuwendyk type, to go and push them a little bit more far forward. And Joe Nieuwendyk, at the time he came to Dallas, was a been there, done that player. He won the cup earlier, and he came and won the cup with Dallas too. So
I don't think O'Reilly's a Joe Nieuwendyk, but
I'm not saying I should say he's not a Joe Nieuwendyk, but he fits the Stars really well in my opinion. Anyways, it's already getting late. Biggest winner, biggest loser for the game tonight. What do y'all think?
Biggest winner, Rope Hintz had a couple of really great chances tonight and couldn't get him to go, and he finally gets him to go later. That's good. I'll take it.
Yeah. My biggest winner is Jason Robertson. I mean, he played pretty much out of his mind tonight, in my opinion. And particularly, I'm thinking of the defensive play in his own zone where he stretches out, picks it off, and then backhand lifts it out of the zone while the game is tied 2-2. And that would have it was a pass to a wide open Buffalo Sabre. And that's almost a for sure goal. I'm pretty sure that was one of their younger players who's been on a heater over the past couple of games, and he stole it right out of his hands.
And I will give it to Jamie Benn tonight since y'all picked the other obvious two. Jamie Benn was fantastic tonight. Man, where has this bit Jamie Benn been? I mean,
I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
He did the joke.
Yes, I did it. But especially with all the players we have out right now, especially with the 2 big injuries, we need him to continue that. And it didn't have to be every game, but I would love to see it more from Jamie Benn, just like we saw tonight. Okay, biggest loser. Who do you got as the biggest loser?
The biggest loser is Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen because he did the most work tonight, has the best name, and he still gets the loss. Pull a Jack Eichel, demand a trade, go to Vegas, win a cup.
Wow, that
escalated quickly.
Wow. Okay. James, who do you got?
I'm going to give my biggest loser to Jamie Benn because he can't score a goal even when he has 7 shots on goal, which is ridiculous. He really could have had a hat trick, and Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen just had his number all night long.
What was that goalie's name?
Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen.
Nice.
I think the Casey and Dad were calling him Uga Yabba Dabba Dooda Dude or something like that. It's just like, okay, throwing the Flintstones in there. I think I have to agree with you just for the fact that UPL, he's my biggest loser tonight too. And not necessarily because he was bad. It's just, he kind of stood on his head for his team and he didn't get the win.
He was so good and he still lost.
But I mean, let's be honest. The shots that the Stars had, they had to be perfect almost in order for them to beat him. So, I mean, hats off to him, but he's still the biggest loser. So, okay. Anything else, guys?
Let's go watch the balls drop.
Yep. You had to say plural.
Oops.
You're an idiot, Chris. Thank you guys so much for watching along live with us here tonight and joining us as we talk about our favorite team. Thank you to DraftKings and Game Time, our sponsors. Promo code is THPN. SarcasticRemarks.com is the website. SarcasticRemarksShop.com is the merch store. It's the best way to support us and what we do. If you're listening on your favorite audio platform, please consider leaving us a 5-star review, wherever that may be. If you're watching on YouTube, click like and subscribe. And as always, follow us on social media at Starcastic, or literally basically anywhere and everywhere. Alongside James and alongside Chris, my name is Ryan. We will catch you guys on the flip side. I'll try again better in 2025. And we hope you guys have a good, fantastic morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you guys are listening. Chris, what you got?
We sliced the Sabres. GG, boys.